2 very boring minutes later.
I'm a vampire! 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 You're A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z! Huh? I know what this is! You're trying to stop me out because of this lazy little man you beat around! Well, vive la fucking France, man! Someone's trying to kill me, man! You fucking hangers!
I wonder what Nick Cage is up to these days. Nicolas Cage. Where did he come from? Where did he go? Why hasn't he been in a movie playing Cotton-Eye Joe? Wait, has he played Cotton-Eye Joe in a movie? I consulted IMDb to find out. Scrolling through the annals of Nicolas Cage's IMDb page to find my answer, I noticed a peculiar gem. Jiu-Jitsu. Never has there been a Nicolas Cage movie with a lower rating. I had to investigate for myself to find out why. I sat down for an interview with an industry professional to discuss expectations going into the film.
Describe the plot of Jiu-Jitsu as you know it before you watch the film.
I don't even remember. Like, Nicolas Cage, and he does a jiu-jitsu, and there's some like supernatural element to it, I think. Like magical jiu-jitsu powers. And I'm assuming they're gonna fight someone evil. Is he a jiu-jitsu teacher? I don't know. Is he just a white man who does jiu-jitsu? We'll find out. Now that the expectations were set, it was time. Jiu-jitsu time. So, I used to think that Nicolas Cage was only in either really amazing movies that were award-worthy or just the absolute most hot garbage pieces of heck. There is no such thing as a mediocre Nicolas Cage movie. However, I have been proven incorrect by that theory due to the existence of Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is so bad that it makes other bad Nicolas Cage movies look mediocre. It has zero redeeming qualities. Everything about it is bad. It makes no logical sense. There is nothing logical in Jiu-Jitsu. Most movies that you watch make more sense the second time around. The second time I watched Jiu-Jitsu, it made even less sense than the first time that I watched it when I was utterly confused. So the movie starts when you put the DVD into your DVD player and the menu screen comes up. What is this menu screen? Why does Nicolas Cage look like that botched restoration of that Jesus painting? The menu screen, which is also the poster for the film, would make you think that this movie is starring Nicolas Cage and this other man right here, whose name I don't know, because I'm fairly certain that they don't say almost any character's name throughout the entire movie. Then we've got this smaller, generic white man here who you would presume is a secondary character, but he's actually our main character. And then you have this woman who kind of, for some reason, at this angle looks like a weird Jada Pinkett Smith to me. I don't know why, but I call her Jada because I don't know her name. They never say it. So the first thing we get is a generic white man running through the woods, and he is being assailed by what seem to be some sort of magical throwing stars that are just whizzing past his head. They're leaving little lightning streaks so that you can tell that they're magical and special. And then we see that there is an invisible man chasing him through the forest and throwing the magical throwing stars at him. Except, you know, he's invisible, but you can still see him because they need you to know that he's there, but he's invisible. But you can still see him, but he's invisible. So eventually, generic white man stumbles through the jungle out onto a cliff, which makes it look like he's in just a completely different area that has nothing to do with the area that he was previously in. He falls off of the cliff. Hits his head on a rock, and black sludge comes out. I think it's supposed to be blood, but it doesn't look like blood because all of the blood in this movie is insanely fake. At the end of the intro sequence, we get this special little symbol that has like a weird sort of dragon and a skull. And this is going to be an important symbol for later on. So make sure you make note of this special little symbol. We get our first Nicolas Cage sighting as a random fisherman on a boat who rescues generic white man who has fallen into the water. The issue with this, though, is that generic white man is face up, floating in the water. Is that a thing? If you fall into water and hit your head and end up sinking down into the water and then you float back up, can you be floating with your face out of the water? Like, I feel like I've only ever seen people floating face down in water whenever that happens. Is that just like a plot device that he's magically alive because he just happened to float face up in the water? So then the other fisherman that was in the boat with Nicolas Cage takes generic white man home so that the fisherman's wife can stitch up his injuries. And the fisherman's wife does not have a name, nor does the fisherman. They are credited as fisherman and fisherman's wife. As he's being stitched up, you see a close-up shot, and generic white man has a tattoo that is the same symbol as the special little symbol that we saw in the introduction earlier. Then we get the fisherman and the fisherman's wife having a conversation in a different language, and the subtitles on the screen were ripped directly from John Wick, as if the director went to see John Wick and was like, I like that, and just decided to use that for his movie. I guess he thought that if he had the same subtitles as John Wick, that his movie would be as good as John Wick. So the fisherman's wife takes Nicolas Cage to some kind of army base where she's stopped aggressively for some reason, and we never really figure out why the army is here. There's no explanation for what they're doing there.
He's not dead.
Okay, so wait. This woman has brought this man in her cart and has said that she's stitched him up, and that's what they've been listening to. And it took this guy that long to figure out that he wasn't dead? Did they think that she was just bringing a dead body in her cart to the army base for some reason? So here we get our first taste of the plot of this film. And pay close attention, because everything that I say right now will not make any sense later on at all. So the fisherman's wife tells the army translator that this has happened because of the comet. Oh, I forgot. There's a comet. So the fisherman's wife says that this is happening because of the comet, and that once every 6 years, a comet passes over Earth, which causes a hole to open up in a temple, and a warrior of death comes through the hole. And then we just get this random close-up shot of a guy's face. You don't find out his name for at least 30 minutes, so I just call him Face. It seems like generic white man is at the army base getting stitched up. We see another close-up shot of his special little tattoo. Again, keep in mind this special symbol on his little tattoo. So now we meet another character who is an aggressive army lady, is determined to figure out who generic white man is and why he's there.
You have a name? While you're working on it, I'm working on it too. I'm with Army Intelligence. And I'm good.
They move him to an interrogation room where she's really aggressively talking to him.
Where did you get the stitch job?
The fisherman's wife brought him to the army base and told them that she stitched him up. She knows the answer to that question. So generic white man says that he has amnesia. He can't remember who he is or why he's there.
I can't remember.
An army lady doesn't believe him. She holds up this random remote looking thing and says that they found it on him.
Where's the other stuff?
What stuff?
Not sure.
Okay, so this I don't understand. He seemingly knows that it's his and says that he has other stuff and asks where his other stuff is. But he supposedly has amnesia and he doesn't know what the other stuff is. So he knows that he has other stuff, but he doesn't know what it is. That's not how amnesia works. Like, why does he have selective amnesia? And this is a recurring theme throughout the rest of the movie, where he remembers random details that are relevant to the plot, but doesn't remember who he is or anything else, as if that makes sense and that's how amnesia works. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's not how amnesia works.
This is doable. I need more time.
What about that tattoo he's got? You ask him about that?
Here we get the first verbal reference to his tattoo, which is important. Again, remember that for later on. It's face, everybody. Face. So then some other guys come into the room, and generic white man goes Born Identity on there.
Heck.
He just starts beating them up, and then he looks at his hands like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I have these special skills. Again, because he has amnesia, and so he didn't remember, I guess, that he can fight. So this movie is basically like a combination of John Wick and The Bourne Identity, if both of those movies were bad. So then military lady comes in and she stabs him with a fun little syringe of something. You know, he could beat up all those other guys, but she can just stab him with a cute little syringe. That's fine. They say that he has been given truth serum.
It's a truth serum.
And they're asking who he works for.
Who are you working for? Who are you working for?
And she mentions this place called the Valley of Temples. Apparently there's plutonium at this Valley of Temples, and she thinks that generic white man knows about the plutonium. Maybe his little special radiation sensor is for the plutonium. Then he says that he's here to do a job. So again, he knows that. How does he know that?
Look, we are classified, and we needed to know if you're on our side.
Against who?
Against who? I want to know the answer to that question too. Why are they there? It never explains why the army is there, like what they think they're doing there, what the purpose for them being there is, who they're fighting against. So then we get some monks, what appear to be monks, walking up toward the army people. Why are they there? I don't know. And there's this cloaked figure behind them. And oh no, it's the guy from the poster thing that never gets a name, but he's there. And he starts wrecking.
Heck.
In this scene, we find out that this particular director has an affinity for slow motion. I'm going to throw up a slow motion counter on the screen, and I'll go ahead and tally how many slow motion scenes we've already had, and we're just going to find out how many uses of slow motion this film has. The answer is a lot. god, we find out that he's friends with generic white guy. Yay, he's there to rescue generic white guy. And so in this scene, we get this weird shot where it just suddenly is in generic white guy's POV, like we're looking through generic white guy's eyes. But then over the course of the next 2 minutes, it goes in and out of POV 6 times. That shot style is never used in the movie again for the whole rest of the movie. They just did it that one time, 6 times, and then now they're done with it. No more POV. So now we cut to a random overhead shot of them walking through a field, and then random people just like emerge from the field. What were they doing before they like rose up from out of the wheat or whatever that is? Like, were they just laying on the ground? I'm imagining that prior to generic white man getting there, like they're just like crouched down in the wheat, like waiting. Like, what? Was he there? Oh, okay, no, just get back down. Okay, so we're 25 minutes into the film, and we finally learn that our main character, generic white man's name is Jake.
Don't move, Jake.
This guy I call Hail Hydra because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's a member of Hydra.
Don't even think about moving without all of us.
What?
know you're risking everybody's life by being here, right? You're supposed to be dead.
We got a plan. We don't stick to it, everything goes to shit.
Okay, so they have some kind of plan. And I guess part of that plan is that Jake is supposed to be dead? Maybe? Okay, so we see some kind of thermal vision. Someone is watching them. Who is it? Probably the Invisible Man. In this scene, they all get tossed and or pushed and or dragged around the field to what looks like drastically different locations. Just like thrown to the winds, just like all over the field. And then absolutely nothing happens after that. They stand up and they're all kind of in the same place still. And that's it. It's just gone. What is that scene? Why? Now the military shows up again and we get another sick fighting montage. Let's count the slow-mos. Here we go. I feel like in watching this, there's so much slow-mo that I start to question where the slow-mo starts and reality ends. Everything in my life is slow-mo now. So there's more thermal vision and Jake gets pushed again. And then we see Jake's pal who came to rescue him, who again doesn't have a name, but he fights with these PVC pipes. So I'm going to call him PVC Pipe. So he gets his own little cute fight scene with even more slow-mo. Let's tally that. So then we get this like badass shot of the heroes about to fight. They're like, and they have their little weapons and whatever, and it like shows these like really intense scenes of them like we're getting ready, we're doing it, and then they are gone. The fight's over. It just cuts to a scene of all of the military people laying on the ground because they've been beaten up. So we're back in the interrogation room, our favorite place to be.
I don't know. They knew me. Called me Jake.
Huh. Well, there's some progress. Who are they? Why are they here?
I'm pretty sure I belong with them.
I don't know why he's sharing this information with her. Like, they don't have any special relationship. She definitely wasn't nice to him in any way.
You have to leave the area. You're asking all the wrong questions.
Again, he knows they need to leave the area. Doesn't know why or how he knows that, though, because he has selective amnesia.
Let's just say it's not just about plutonium levels anymore.
It's just a cover story.
Plutonium is the cover story for the alien that's there to keep them away from that area. I don't know how it would keep them away from that area, though, if they wanted the plutonium. Like, that was the Army's goal, was to get the fake plutonium when they then go exactly there.
He's still foggy from the shock, but he did say that we have to leave the area.
We? What do you mean, us? He's just saying we abort the whole mission?
He's insistent.
So he tells them they need to leave. Why do they believe him, this random guy who none of them trust, that says that he has amnesia and doesn't remember anything?
What about Jake?
He's coming with us.
Wait, in that mental state?
I'm not leaving him here.
She's not leaving him here? What? She's known this guy for like a few hours. I guess he's really important to her, though. He doesn't know her name. So we're back in the forest. The military people are here. Her Geiger counter's going insane. We see the thermal imaging again. So we know that the Invisible Man is nearby. Face. Once again, we get an insane version of a shot where they just zoom up really close on everyone's face, like in sort of like a fishbowl lens. Like, it's like really weird looking. They never use this in the rest of the movie. It happens this one time and then they're done with it. Invisible Man finally reveals himself to be a Lost in Space ripoff. Yay. So Jake and the military lady are running away. Comedic relief guy is crouching in the bushes, and only Face is left to face the alien. I hate myself.
We have to go back for Captain Sand.
Captain Sand! We finally learned his name! We're 37 minutes into the movie. Wait, are they friends? Is he like in on it with this alien guy? Oh, heck. No, they're definitely not friends. So Face, I'm not going to call him Captain Sand. Face is a way better name, and it's more fitting for him because he has a face, and they've shown it. So Face shoots the alien with a machine gun, as military people do, and he bleeds blue blood. And he's dead! The movie's over!
You know how famous you're gonna be, dog? You're gonna be so famous right now. You know how big this is? It's bigger than...
Heck. He's healing. So he uses his cute little magic like lava hand to kill Face. And now Jake and military lady are running away again. So they're just running through the forest, and Jake falls into what appears to be some kind of dwelling.
Jake!
Holy heck. Oh my god! The military lady just died. What the heck? She was like a main character. Oh my god. I was not expecting her to die. She just ate. Heck. Oh my god. I mean, we didn't know her name or anything about her, but like, she was a main character. I thought she was a main character. Okay, 40 minutes into the movie, and we finally see Nick Cage again. He's back. It's really kind of his first scene in the film, other than, I'm not really sure you can count the one where he just like is in a boat and they save Jake. I think I'm just going to cut together all of his lines in this scene, and I think that'll give you a pretty good idea of who his character is.
Who are you? I'm you in a few years if you don't get your shit together. You know me? I am you. I don't get it. No one ever gets what I mean. Now, someone in your situation only has two choices. Be like me, or warrior. That's my favorite chair. I knew you'd find it comfortable. Ho, ho, ho. Get off my piano. But it's a pretty good life. I mean, I've got my hobbies. I make hats out of newspapers. Look at this. You see the attention to detail? It's an art. It's a craft. He wanted you here. Who? The poet warrior in the sci-fi sense. The spaceman. He's the one that gave us jujitsu. Jiu-jitsu. You are right this minute exactly where he wants you to be. And it is over. Ball and mitt. Game match set. Checkmate. Woo! See, I can fly too.
Who is Nicolas Cage? What is Nicolas Cage? I genuinely don't know what his character is supposed to be in this movie at this point. Like, he just says nonsense and is nonsense. I'm kind of wondering if all of this was in the script, or if Nicolas Cage just started saying random heck and they recorded it and put it in the movie. I'm kind of thinking it has to be the latter, because there's no way that anyone could write dialogue this nonsensical. So 43 minutes in, we finally get the name of our invisible enemy, nemesis. His name is Brax. I honestly didn't even notice it the first time around until like an hour and 15 minutes into the movie, because Nicolas Cage is so breathy when he talks that I can't understand anything that he's saying. So the friends come to get Jake. How did they know Jake was here? Who is Nicolas Cage? How is he related to these people at all? Do they know him? There's zero indication of what his relationship is with these people, or how they knew to find Jake there. I mean, he was just running in the forest and like fell into Nicolas Cage's hovel. So how they knew he was there, I don't know. Nick Cage just goes with them. I guess they're friends, or they at least know each other.
Yeah, maybe I could get something to eat. Like a noodle or pickle.
So we finally get some more backstory from Nicolas Cage, who explains that the comet causes a portal to open up every 6 years in the temple, and an alien comes through it from millions of light years away, looking for a fight with the chosen jujitsu. How can a person be a jujitsu? What do you call a person who does jujitsu? Jujitsuka. Yeah, I see literally nothing that indicates that you can call a person a jujitsu. I think that's some bullshit that they just made up. So the chosen jujitsu this 6 years is Jake, and apparently if the alien doesn't get a fight with the chosen jujitsu, he just kills everybody. Like on the whole planet. And I guess the alien taught the ancestors jujitsu. I don't know. Like, they go completely back and forth in this movie between acting like it was a gift given to the people that they learned jujitsu from this alien, and that it's like an honor to like just suddenly wanting to kill the alien. So then there's this super awkward scene with Jake and Jada, whose name we never find out. So I'm just going to keep calling her Jada. It's really uncomfortable and awkward, and she takes off his shirt and then gives him a special little, like a new shirt that means that Brax can't see them with his special thermal vision.
I don't know how much you forgot, but it better not be this.
There are no swords in jujitsu. I did specifically research this in advance. Jujitsu originally was meant to be used with no weaponry or a small weapon. So like maybe like a dagger, but definitely not a sword, which is not to say that there might not be, like apparently there's like schools of jujitsu that do teach the use of weaponry, but I don't think that's part of like jujitsu itself. And also it's definitely not part of like the ancient art of jujitsu, which is what they're acting like this is supposed to be. So why would his sword matter? If you know jujitsu, it should be actual jujitsu. There's like so little jujitsu in this movie from what I can tell. I think that the guy that wrote it just like picked jujitsu. Like he just picked a martial art that he thought sounded cool and he picked jujitsu, but he knew nothing about it and just assumed that like any fighting style could just like be representative of jujitsu or like any martial art. I don't think that he knows anything about jujitsu itself at all.
Now, Brax fights 9 fighters. Fight.
Now we learn that Brax fights 9 fighters. And if any of them refuses to fight, he stays and devours everything. This makes me want to pull my hair out because none of this is in the plot at the end of the movie. None of this makes sense. Like, I can't tell you how little sense it makes. So Jake points out that there's only 8 of them there. And Hail Hydra says that they lost a guy because Brax killed him. So Jake suddenly decides to stop walking, and everyone starts yelling at him. And then he says this.
You don't think we should go look for him?
Which, isn't that what they're already doing? What are they doing if not looking for, like, what is it that they're doing if they're not looking for Brax, the alien? Like, I'm not entirely certain what's happening if that's not what's happening.
This was your plan, Jake. Your plan. I had a plan.
Don't tell me.
You forgot the plan.
It was your plan, Drake.
He'll get it. Are you trying to confuse him? Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
So I feel like each of the 3 of them that have a line in this scene really exemplify horrible acting in their own way. But my favorite is the "don't tell me" guy.
Don't tell me.
Because the way that he delivers that line is just unconscionable. Like, even the worst actor, you know, I am not an actor. I'm not a good actor. I don't know how to act. But even I know that that line is meant to be like an exasperated, like just frustrated. But instead, he comes out with this, like, "don't tell me." Like, I can't. It's so funny.
Remember what I said. You're the rabbit. You just follow me, okay? Keep moving.
When did he say that? He's never mentioned a rabbit. He's never mentioned Jake being a rabbit. He's never, like, that's not something that has been said this entire movie. He did not say that. So now suddenly, I guess Jake is the rabbit. I still don't know what this plan is that they have that was Jake's. So they're walking through the forest some more, the woods, the jungle, whatever it is. And "don't tell me"
Don't tell me.
says that it's not Jake's fault. But it decidedly is Jake's fault. When you get to the end, not even the end, when we get just a few more minutes into the film, we find out that it is indeed Jake's fault. And so I genuinely, like, I'm not sure what "don't tell me"
Don't tell me
was trying to say, because there's nothing about this that is not Jake's fault. We get a fight scene between "don't tell me"
Don't tell me
and Brax. 2 other guys show up out of nowhere. This is a theme that happens towards the end of this movie where people just kind of randomly appear, and I'm not sure where they came from. I'm not sure where they had been or why they're there, but they just show up. So these 2 guys show up, and then they fight Brax, and Brax kills them both. And then he kills "don't tell me."
Don't tell me.
So he's dead. I guess Brax did tell him. So Jake is in the jungle and he gets knocked out, and we don't know who did it. Oh my god, it's Face! Face is alive! He didn't die from Brax's lava hand to his throat, which seems very unlikely, but apparently you can survive an alien lava hand to the throat, is what I've learned from this.
I got a license to kill you. No expiration date. So you're gonna tell me everything you know.
Oh, wow, okay. Face means business.
And I'll tell you everything I know.
Oh, okay, never mind, I guess. So Face reveals that he's been hunting Brax for 24 years, and he works for Army Intelligence.
I've been clocking that thing for 24 years for Army Intelligence.
And he's the only one who knew the true mission.
Nobody knows the mission but me.
Which begs the question, what the heck did everyone else in the military think they were doing there? And also, wouldn't it be more beneficial to you to have more people in on it than just one guy who knows what you're actually supposed to be doing there when it's like an entire military outfit? Like, only one person knows what the actual mission is and everyone else just thinks they're doing some other heck. Isn't that kind of a waste of resources? I also, like, you get no indication of how long they've been there. Did they just arrive, or have they been there for 24 years and Face is the only one who knew for that entire time about the alien? So Face says that Brax can heal from anything, clearly, as we've seen, but that if they hit him again while it's injured, because it takes him a few seconds to heal, then that should be able to kill him. And again, my question is, at what point have we determined that the goal is to kill Brax? Because they're supposed to just fight him. And then he leaves. Okay, so then Jake just stumbles onto Wiley, which is Nick Cage's character's name, and he's just like roasting something over a fire. I once again don't know why he's there, what he's doing there, if he's supposed to be there, and how Jake ended up there. I have no clue. He just like walks up on him. I think people teleport in this film. That's the only thing that makes logical sense based on how they just appear out of nowhere. So once again, an incredibly frustrating scene where Nick Cage contradicts himself every line. Every line contradicts the next line that he says.
He's playing with his food, don't you think? I know that the spaceman actually likes you.
Where he tells Jake that Brax is just playing with him and toying with him and like thinks he's a coward, but then also saying that he respects Jake and is saving him for last because of his like monumental jujitsu skill, which we haven't seen him be any level of skilled beyond anyone else. They all just look exactly the same. So we finally get a flashback. We're going to get Jake's memory back. We're going to figure out what happened. So Brax comes through the portal that has opened because of the comet. And a man, it looks like the ninth member of their party walks up and like approaches Brax, but it looks like Brax like waves him off, but I can't tell if that's what he's doing. I can't tell if Brax is waving him off or everyone else off, because then everybody just turns around to leave. Like they all leave. And I don't understand that, because I thought that all 9 of them had to fight him, but they literally turn around to leave, except for Jake, who just stays and stands there. And then Brax points at someone, either Jake or the other guy, number 9. And I can't tell. I genuinely can't tell who he's pointing at. And then he bows his head like he's gonna fight number 9, but then just like stabs him with his little arm sword. Like it seemed like he was gonna fight the guy and then he just killed him. But they said that Jake was the chosen jujitsu. So does that mean that like this guy was in the way and he wanted to fight Jake and not that guy? But then why is there even a chosen jujitsu if he's supposed to fight all 9 of them? And then Brax turns invisible and he runs into Jake, and then Jake just runs away like a little boy. And then we come back to the beginning of the movie where we see Jake running through the jungle with the throwing stars flying at his head. So Nick Cage says that everyone thinks that Jake is a coward and that this will be remembered for generations, just like it happened with him 6 years ago. That's right. Jake's a coward who ran away, and so was Nicolas Cage. I don't know why he says that they'll remember it for generations, because 6 years is not a generation. That's not even remotely close to being a generation. And there's no indication that there was someone else in the past, like actual generations ago, who also ran, that like everyone still talks about. So I don't know why he just assumes that everyone will still talk about it, because it seems like no one really cares at this point. So Jake seems surprised that Nick Cage is one of them, but he was like with the party, like walking with them and like at the temple. I don't know. What did Jake think Nick Cage was? I don't know. So as Nick Cage tells it, he begged for his life, but apparently that makes him crazy. And there's no honor in killing crazy. How does that make you crazy? Like, one could argue that in this scenario it makes you a coward, but how would it make you crazy to beg for your life? So Jake ran, which allowed Brax to kill innocent people, and that's on him.
That's on you.
Which, again, makes me ask why Don't Tell Me told Jake that it wasn't his fault, because clearly this is all his fault. It seems like Brax didn't get out 6 years ago when Nick Cage was a coward, like because he was just like crazy, but he didn't run. Brax didn't leave the temple, but because Jake ran, Brax left the temple, which means that he's now killed a bunch of innocent people, arguably. So it definitively is Jake's fault. But this time they have a plan, which was Jake's plan. So let me get this straight. Jake made a plan in the case that someone was a coward and ran, which let Brax out of the temple. Except he was the one who was a coward and ran and let Brax out of the temple. So Jake's plan. What? Why was this a plan in the first place? Like, apparently this has never happened before. So why did they even have a plan for it in the first place, first of all? And second of all, what? Jake came up with this, like, special fancy plan in case someone was a coward and ran? Except it was him who was a coward and ran? My God.
What about you? Where'd you come from? He put me here.
Who put you here? Brax? Because that doesn't make any sense. You just showed up.
We gotta get this done now.
What do they have to get done? What are they doing? I don't think it's anyone else's plan to kill Brax. What is the plan? They still haven't told us what the plan is. PVC pipe guy! Jake runs again, and he leaves PVC pipe laying there on the ground while Brax chases him. I guess he's being a rabbit. Brax can't see Jake and Jada because they're sitting there with their fancy little cloaks on that camouflage them from Brax so that he can't see them. So for some reason, Nicolas Cage thinks it's the perfect time to come fight Brax, I guess to like help them get away. But A, Brax can't see them, and B, they don't get away. They just sit there and watch. So we get this just absolutely horribly long scene, like painfully long, too long. It feels infinite when you're watching it, of Brax fighting Nicolas Cage. Nick Cage, at one point when they're fighting, ends up kneeling on the ground in front of Brax, and you're like, oh, okay, like the fight's over, Brax is gonna kill him, and Nick Cage points at Jake. I thought the whole point of him fighting Brax was so that Jake and Jada could get away and Brax wouldn't know where they were. And then Brax gives him his sword back and they like bow and they're like, okay, let's do more not jujitsu. And so they keep fighting, but Brax like just like cuts him up a bunch and then slits his throat.
He saved our lives. I always knew he was faking like he was crazy. So he could help you.
What are you talking about?
You really don't know? He was your father.
Absolutely not. They kiss, which is gross, and then the comedic relief comes in out of nowhere with the fisherman and the fisherman's wife. For some reason, comedic relief says another unfunny line, and that's it. That's the movie. So, wait, what? That's... Okay, so Brax is back. So the fisherman's wife shoots him with a shotgun. Why has no one done this before? So Jake and Brax fight again. I'm not sure why at this point we're not using guns when we've decided that we're gonna kill him. I feel like that would be the most effective way to do that. Jada was there the whole time apparently, just watching Jake get the beat out of him for some reason. So she shoots him with her fancy little arrows. And then comedic relief, who is also there miraculously, throws Jake 2 grenades that he puts into the little wound that was created from Jada's arrows. And then the wound heals over those grenades. The portal opens. Jake kicks Brax into the portal. And then he explodes in a horribly fake explosion that Jake then runs and jumps away from in classic action movie fashion. And then the portal closes and the fisherman and his wife come in with more John Wick subtitles. PVC Pipe comes in and smiles at all of them. I don't know where he was this whole time. I think Jake just left him in the forest, so he was just like sleeping in the forest, I guess. Comedic relief guy sticks his head up to have one last unfunny line. And then Jake and Jada and the fisherman and the fisherman's wife all walk out. PVC Pipe is nowhere to be seen. They didn't show him leaving. He just disappeared. He's not in the room anymore. I don't know where he went. And comedic relief guy says, "See you in 6 years." And that's it. Even though they supposedly killed Brax, so they definitely shouldn't see him in 6 years. I don't know if they send another alien. Honestly, it's entirely possible that it's been different aliens this whole time, and it wasn't just, like, the one guy. Huh. You remember that fancy little tattoo that Jake had that they made sure to draw so much attention to 3 separate occasions at the beginning of the movie, and then a 4th time at the very beginning in the introduction when they showed the symbol that was his tattoo that he had on a tattoo that everyone was talking about? Yeah, they never mentioned that again. It meant nothing. They never mentioned it again. In conclusion, I still have no idea what happened in that movie, and I've watched it multiple times. And I also hate everything now, and I never want to watch another movie again. So. We just finished watching Jiu-Jitsu. Based on my guess earlier, I was correct about Nicolas Cage being a white man who does Jiu-Jitsu. I guess he was kind of a teacher in the sense that he taught his own son Jiu-Jitsu. There was no magic, I don't think, other than the fact that there was an alien that they were fighting. But it was just the alien that had magic. And I guess it's not magic if it's an alien, like it's just alien powers. So no magic, I don't think. What else did I say? They kind of fought someone evil. He taught their ancestors jujitsu, like it was some kind of gift, but then every 6 years they have to fight him, and he has to kill someone, I think, or else he'll just kill everyone on the whole planet. I don't know. The number 9 was thrown around, but I'm not entirely sure what it meant. Did he have to kill 9 of them? I guess not. There just is 9 of them. There are 9 of them. I don't know. He picks one, I think. Could I tell you more what it was about now than earlier? No. And now let's hear a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Nicolas Cage's email auto reply. Nicolas Cage's email auto reply. Say yes to saying yes. Jake, you forgot the plan? Oh my god, Jake.